3. Then Senate Bill 315 by Senator Villar. Senate Bill 1312 filed by Senator Santiago. Senate Bill 1714 filed by Senator Santiago. Senate Bill 384 filed by Senator Santiago. Senate Bill 1818 filed by Senator Santiago. Senate Bill 1620 filed by Senator Santiago. Senate Bill number 1704 and 1768 also filed by Senator Santiago. Now this is getting to be a little bit more convoluted than I thought, so I'm glad Assistant Governor Ravalo is here so we can make him do the work for us. No? For the record, the committee would like to acknowledge the presence of the following resource persons today. Now we're looking at Mr. in no particular order, Assistant Governor Johnny Noet Ravalo, representing the Bangka Sentral ng Pilipinas. From the Credit Card Association of the Philippines, Mr. Harrison Gue, Mr. Alex Ilagan, and Mr. Simon Calasans. And the young lady is Deputy Director Evelyn Santos. Would you also be with the Bangko Sentral? All right. Good. So between us, we should be able to come up with a final version of the bill. I just would like to recommend that we use as the basis House Bill number 5417. It seems to be more all-encompassing, but there would be a lot of additions from the bills filed by Senator Santiago. And there's one that caught my eye, which is the bill that was filed by Senator Escudero, which is the Credit Card and Access Devices Act. Now, tell me something, Governor Ravalo. We have, of course, an existing law, which is known as, which is recorded as Republic Act 8484, which is an act regulating the issuance and use of access devices, prohibiting fraudulent acts committed relative thereto, providing penalties and for other purposes. Do you see any conflict between some of the new provisions in the House bill with 8484?
Right now, Mr. Chair, we don't. However, one of the most common complaints we receive at the BSP with respect to 8484 is the public is not aware that in 8484 it categorically says if you lost your card and then any charges that are incurred by the card up to the point that you report it stolen is for the account of the account holder. So the public is basically saying, hindi ko naman alam na wala eh. So why am I liable for that? Unfortunately, it's very categorical in 8484, Mr. Chair.
All right, but that's standard all over the world anyway. Until you actually report your card lost, they can charge those things to you. Of course, in the past, I myself discovered too late, not that I lost my card, but that somebody got hold of the number and they were charging boxing bills in Las Vegas, etc. And of course, I don't buy boxing tickets to Las Vegas, so I knew it wasn't mine. And then ordering stuff to be delivered to anonymous places, hard to trace, but from department stores. Now, it would be up to the credit card issuer whether he seeks to believe you or not, because they did reverse the charges and they charged me with those things. It was a couple of $1,000s, and so they do have built into their financial models such charges, no? But yeah, it is also the responsibility of the credit card issuers to constantly at least remind the credit card holders that, hey, unless you report it lost, we're going to have to charge it to your account. Now, in your own judgment, bahala na yung mga managers ninyo. Pag medyo sinabi ni Mr. Rabalo, teka muna, hindi ko alam na they even got hold. I did not lose my card. They just got hold of my number, and you know how it is today. It's so easy to to dial an order on the internet and just give your number and that extra code number of 3 digits plus the, what do they call it, the expiry date of your card, and you're doing business already, no? So yes, the chair would not be in favor of changing the way things are, because it certainly has worked that way. And the banks, I think, would be, the credit card issuers would be too much at risk if any time I can go and charge $10,000 or $20,000 and say, alam mo, nawala yung card ko eh. The scams would be so common. I'll give it to my friend. Sige, mag-charge it and you have 2 days, because in 2 days I'm going to call up the bank and say it's lost, no? Ganun lang yun. Yeah, we're pretty much aware of that. But there is a bill, the Fair Debt Collection and Practices Act. This is the thickest bill of Senator Santiago, which seems to contain some very good. Would you like, all right, given that we have very limited time, and I'd really like to pass this bill, except that very few people are really aware how much under time pressure the Senate is, because going backwards, starting in February, wala na ho tayong session. So we'll only have about 3 weeks in January to the first week of February. And that I would normally reserve already for BICAMs, because we can pass it here in the Senate, but you still have to harmonize it with the version of the House. And of course, we will be expanding greatly on the House version. So therefore, we have to pass this before we adjourn on December 14 or 16, no? And I mean pass it on the Senate floor. So going backwards, I'll give 2 weeks for that. I have to pass this before the end. This has to be presented to the committee before the end of November, so that we can file the committee report and get the signature. So we've got a very small time frame. Next week is a holiday because of that APEC thing. Then the week after, we're on the floor, because that's when we tackle the national budget. So wala na, ubus na yung November. So I've got maybe a few days between November 28 and December 2 to get this thing filed, and hopefully the Senate will find time to take it up on the floor before we adjourn for Christmas. So we're asking for your cooperation here, and we'd like to organize a technical working group which will be chaired by my Chief of Staff, Attorney Vina Panes, so that we can get together and you can help the committee craft the final version of the bill, so that we will be able to make good time in finalizing the committee report, no? All right. So we like 1620 of authored by Senator Santiago, and also Senate Bill 602 filed by Senator Francis Escudero. Now, of course, there are more than half of them are similar. There are definitions, etc. But what we want you to do is also vet. You know, there are something some of the well-meaning resource persons are coming across with the kawawa naman excuse, no? Why are we sending them to students, anybody below 25, 21, whatever, no? I like to explain to them that I said, you know, in our society, we want the young to get used to using credit honestly, intelligently, and properly, and to establish already a credit history. So, dapat malaman nila, bata pa sila na, teka muna, kung anong kalokohan ang gagawin mo ngayon, naku, that's going to affect you for a long time to come. It will come out in your credit history. So don't borrow money that you cannot afford to pay back in the amounts that you promise to pay them back in. That you'll have no problem with me. The other problem is the issue of brought up by Senator Villar, which is coming back to the anti-usury. Essentially, I've explained this to several of my colleagues and well-meaning persons who come up with these ideas that, you know, if you put a limit again on interest rate charges, then what you'll be doing is constricting credit, because the banks take into consideration the default rate. And pag let's say, for example, ang default rate mo 20%, alam mo 20% ay hindi magbabayad. So you'll already tack that onto your interest rate, because they're not in the business of giving away money, no? and collecting money is not out of the goodness of your heart na mamakaawa sila. Hindi. In the first place, that money doesn't even belong to the bank. Those are depositors' money. So it's difficult to tell the bank, well, can you give me a break because, teka muna, pinahiram kita ng kwarta, you have to pay it back. That in essence is the basis for any financial system. You intermediate funds, you borrow from Peter, you lend to Paul, but you expect Paul to pay you back so you can pay back Peter. So we understand that, and we're appreciative of that, and we're trying to convince our colleagues that no, we're not going to bring back the usury law because that's going to be counterproductive. It will really constrict the amount of money that's out there. I also like to tell them that the alternative of those people who are borrowing is either they get no money, they steal the money, or they go to the 5/6er, which is far worse, because the 5/6er will break your leg if you don't pay him back. There's also a bill here that complains about collection practices, which is why it is good to take into consideration Senate Bill 1620 and 602. And I think we already have restrictions on the behavior of collectors. No, you cannot call after 10 o'clock at night or before 6 in the morning, etc. Tama mo yan. There was a professor of sociology yesterday from the UP who was in my office yesterday, who was arguing that, you know, these people, they're really abusive when they said, well, there is a law, correct me if I'm wrong, that does not allow you to use abusive language. Is that in 84? Which law?
It's in the Manual of Regulations of the BSP, Mr. Chair.
It's not in any law.
I don't
All
think
right.
so, it's in law.
We can put that in the law if you so propose, no? But I said the alternative is you'll get your leg broken. So you borrow from the bank. Siyempre, hahabulin ka. and they will nag you, and they have every right to do that. you don't you don't lend money and say you won't pay it back. You would never have gotten the money in the first place. And the payback is always a formal set computation. No? It's not I'll pay you when I can, or can you wait until next payday. It's not that way. A bank cannot operate that way. A formal credit institution cannot operate that way. They'll go broke. So, yeah. So all of these we're willing to take into consideration. We do want to strengthen the right of the consumer, but at the same time, we want to make sure that, we're not killing the goose that lays the golden egg by putting all restrictions like this and finding out, oops, mali pala, we should not have done that. Now, since the last hearing, have you come up with any additional ideas, suggestions, proposed amendments that you would like us to include? Mr. Calasan.
Yes, Your Honor. So the CCAP and the BSP, we've discussed these bills a lot. CCAP poses no objection to House Bill 5417, Senate Bill 1312, 1714, 384, 1768.
Okay.
Then,
run that by me again.
yes.
5417, 1312,
1714,
1714,
384,
what?
384,
384.
84, yes,
Okay.
and 1768,
1768.
yes.
You have no objections to
No
that?
objections.
Okay.
And we propose, we are generally supportive of Senate Bills 1620, 704, with slight modification.
Senate Bill
1620,
1630,
20, sorry, sir.
20.
Yes,
That's the Miriam Bill,
correct. Both
Yeah.
Miriam bills and 1704.
1704.
Yes.
Okay.
So with slight modifications, we can provide a draft to this probably
with amendments, you mean?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
with amendments.
All right.
And we, as you said, oppose House Bills 315 and 1818.
House Bill
315,
315?
yes, by Villar.
No, that's SBN, that's Senate Bill.
Oh, sorry, yes. Senate Bill 315 by Villar and Senate Bill 1818 on restricting the age of the credit card applicants.
1818, you said?
Yes,
That's also Miriam.
that's correct.
What about Senate Bill
602, we have yet to review. It wasn't included.
Yeah, the one of, I'm sorry, Escudero, 602.
Yeah, 602, we haven't had a chance to review this one. It was not included in the letter sent to
All right.
us.
I'll make copies for you now.
Thank you, sir.
Run me 7 copies of that. Yeah. I wonder why that was not included. Was that filed late? Okay. All right. Now, would you, suppose we left you alone, would you be able to put everything together and craft a bill among yourselves? You'll be technical working group, just give it to us. Like I said, we're just so pressed for time. November, December, January. Pwede? Okay. Give me a date. My staff will always be available to meet with you. Except between midnight and 6 o'clock. No, don't. See if you can finish during APEC. Are you going to be busy during APEC? Because we have a forced holiday, but I'm working. We're all working, but there'll be no Senate sessions, no hearings, because we want to minimize traffic around here. The President of the United States is staying right here next door at Sofitel, no? So this is going to be crazy with security people. But we can work in Makati, we can work anywhere, no?
So in between now and the 23rd, we would like to make the final submission on the 23rd, but in between now and then, we're available for meetings.
Okay, you can submit it to the committee by the 23rd.
Yes. And we would be available for meetings.
Now the 23rd will be a Monday.
Yes.
Okay. By the way, that's when we go to the floor on the budget, but okay, I'll take time because we intend to finish the budget in 3 days. 23, 24, 25. Talagang we're squeezed this year, and then we're going to BICAM. So, but we will make time so that hopefully by the end of that particular week I can file the committee report, and by the following week, December 1 na yun. November 30 is a holiday, siya pang holiday. Yeah, I think November 30 is going to be declared a holiday. So December 1, that I'll file the committee report at bahala na kung umaabutan natin ng December 18. Okay? Sige, so get together with Vina here. I'll suspend hearings now. Please get together with Vina, and you can informally arrange how you want to work this out. But I'm very grateful. I'd like to put on record that I'm grateful for your assistance in this regard, because we would not have been able to finish this within 1 to 2 weeks with all the workload we have. Yeah. Governor Noet.
Mr. Chair, since 5417 was already the initial work.
Wait. 5417 is the House bill.
It's the House bill. That has already reflected substantially the inputs of the industry and the BSP. Would there be a substantial gain if, let's say, timeline-wise, we can finish by this week? If we finish by this week instead of the 23rd, are we in much better shape, or the APEC week will really change the schedule anyway?
You will finish by this week?
If we can finish by
Well,
this
that's
week.
wonderful. But anyway, we're dead next week. The staff will be working, so I can be working on putting the finishing touches on it, but we still won't be able to file the committee report until the following week, which is
The 23rd.
the 23rd. And when the budget is on, there's usually no sessions. I mean, the session is only the budget itself, so we cannot make introductory speeches, sponsorship speeches, but we will see. Baka minsan pinapagbigyan kami. But good. Then we'll be able to come out with a product.
We'll try to expedite, Mr. Chair, but under no circumstance will we cross November 23rd. You will have something on or before the 23rd.
Okay. November 23rd. If you have it this week, there's a big gap between this week and November 23rd. That's a whole week. Huh? If you might be able to give it to me, say, by the 18th. See, the 23rd is a Monday. So 22, 21, 20, 19. You can give it to me by Wednesday, the 18th. Then I'll have Thursday and Friday to work on it, finalize it. Then send it around for signature on the 23rd. In other words, I can file it maybe by the 24th. And have it calendared, hopefully, on December 1. Yes?
We can do the 18th.
Okay. Okay, so let's us suspend this hearing. And I shall leave you guys alone. You can make arrangements with Vina. Vina, we can make arrangements with them and just make sure that we meet certain timelines so that we have time to pass it. Thank you very much for coming, fellows, and I'll see you again.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.